Oh yeah, here it is, prototypo, right there.
We are in the process today of delivering a very cool car, but this is what is believed to be one of 3 RUF RTRs produced like this. Now, we still have to do a little bit more research. It's probably one of the most rare factory-built RUF cars. And as you guys know, we absolutely love these, and that is cool. I believe that is an original Japanese tag. It could also be a Korean tag. So what's interesting about this car is if you guys go back, and I don't know if we've actually told this story on this channel, but we definitely told it, I think, on VinWiki. We had the opportunity to buy one of the most incredible Porsche collections and car collections in the world, and it was actually from the founder of Samsung, Mr. Lee, and he had this incredible collection, a ton of interesting RUF cars, a ton of really interesting Porsche cars, and here's actually, this is cool to see. So this is specifically, this car, from our understanding, was built for him. He had owned this car. It has like 900 miles. If you do some research, you would believe that there was 10 factory RUF RTRs. This is actually saying it's one of 3 special built RTRs. This is what I love about this car. 3.8 liter twin turbo engine, 6-speed manual gearbox. This is rear wheel drive. It's the narrow body. So in my opinion, this car just really embodies the spirit of RUF and the original Yellowbird. You know, when you think of the original Yellowbird, you think of a narrow body, turbocharged, rear wheel drive, manual. There's a lot of cool features. You know, the flat roof. There's no roof rack or anything like that. There's no drip rails on this car. The iconic fenders and the scoops similar to the Yellowbird. And when you go around this car and even you look at the front bumper, it is sort of a modern version of that original RUF iconic Yellowbird bumper. So such a cool car. What makes this car so special is it is a factory-built car, and the factory-built RUF cars had the W09 VIN. I mean, imagine here's a RUF certificate in its file. We're talking 802 horsepower manual transmission car. So cool. Delivered in 2017, and just really a fantastic example. Here's all the RUF documentation, and we are delivering this to its new owner today. Wow. I'm in love.
Happy client, huh?
It is always, I think, the greatest pleasure of our business is to make somebody's dream come true and make sure they're in love with a car, they fall in love with a car, and also provide something that's just so unique. I think that's our secret sauce, is finding all these. I think sometimes they find us. I think we manifest a lot of these really interesting stories and spectacular histories of different cars. Diablo, this is gonna be the 6.0. This is number 1. So we are beginning 2024 by chasing a bunch of interesting new cars. One of them is actually this car here. And what's funny is we are now working with, the factory doesn't have all of the complete records, but through deductive reasoning and actually our own archive, and I went on a buying spree of brochures. Actually, that's cool to see. Actually, that was the ad, famous ad, Albertoni. We've talked about him. Famous Lamborghini mechanic authorized service who had passed on. And here we go. So this is the second Countach anniversary built. Basically the first European car, the first Countach 25th anniversary, the prototype was actually a US car that was built for Mr. Lee Iacocca, a fuel injected car. This car here, you can see is a European downdraft, and there's a ton of reasons why we know this car is so important. It's probably one of the most pictured Countaches of all time. It was used for the original brochure, which we have somewhere. We'll dig out of our archive. Now, it's important to know it's for the European, the rest of the world brochure. It was not for the European, not for the US brochure. But, and here's the original Pagani sketches, this car was driven by everybody. Not just Valentino Balboni, but Sandro Monare, all these famous drivers, and there's a lot of unique features that we've learned. We have a great colleague, here you go, and it was actually produced in the end of 1988. Factory records show it wasn't delivered until June of 1990, so it actually stayed at the Lamborghini factory for almost 2 years. You notice that it's the first of its kind. You see the clear headlight covers, and that's how you sort of recognize this car in old press photos. As we were researching, this is such a great shot, famous shot. As we were researching this car, and Leo, our friend in Germany, did such a great job. We found all these unique features, the Kevlar exhaust shield, and then there was just a ton of other features that make this car special. Now, what's also cool about this car, being that it was cover of magazines, used for all the press, it was basically used by Lamborghini for almost 2 years. It was later delivered to Steve Curtis, and if you're an offshore powerboat racing fanatic, I don't know too much about it, but apparently he was a god. He was a championship winning multi-times and actually raced with the V12 Lamborghini engines, which is so cool. And there's some great photos, actually, and I'm gonna pull up a file as we've been researching this car. So here's some of the original press photos of the car. There's some unique features. You can see that seam on the top of the door panel. There's some unique features in the engine compartment. There's double stamps here, unique spark plug wires. There's a bunch of little things that we know. This was the press car. There's Steve Curtis. You see the Lamborghini hat, famous throttle man, and he raced during the 90s and was a championship winner. So we're super excited. We recently purchased this car. We've got a ton of, I would say, so we actually found it through a colleague I mentioned, Leo, and he was the one that noticed the differences. So super cool. We need to put all of this together. We're gonna get it to Lamborghini so they can do a Polo Storico certification and really sort of understand the significance of this 25th anniversary. It was actually also used at the unveiling of the 25th anniversary. So it was the first time the world, I think it was at Lamborghini Day, and there's a great photo of it doing a parade lap. So just really, really famous, photographed. We're gonna have a whole file on this car, so we're in the process of researching that, which is super exciting. We also just bought a Diablo 6.0, which we're gonna have to do some more research on. We believe it's probably 1 or 2 that were finished in Rosso Vic for the US market. We have to get a final number. We will pull out the factory, we'll pull out some records and some notes and try to see exactly how many were produced in this color.
Oh man, cool. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Awesome. Love it. All right. I'll send you video and picture when I.
Don't be making me wait all day. Just send me some iPhone pictures.
Of course, man. Of course. Give me a few. All right. Bye. So this is one of the cooler stories. I've built a great relationship with a very good client. We have a lot of the similar tastes in Diablos and things like that. I think he has 4 or 5 Diablos. If I had more money, I'd have 4 or 5 Diablos. And I think it was probably in 2014, there was a well-known Instagram social media guy, Chemical Method, that had ordered a Bugatti Vitesse. So the Grandsport Vitesse, I believe there's 12 in the US, 20 for the world. And he had ordered this car in this really unique color combination. I actually recently found photos of the car being built at the factory, which is super cool to see. And the really special part of this story is this gentleman who's become a friend and a client has had a ton of Bugatti Veyrons. He's had a ton of different cars, and this was always his dream. Now, we've sold this car 2 additional times before, and he always was like, oh, I gotta buy it one day, I gotta buy it one day. And we're making that dream come true. He saved a photo of the car from Instagram in 2014, and today we're taking delivery of it here, and I think this is gonna be a forever car for him. So congratulations. I think it's one of 12 for the US, but a very cool Nardo gray and black Bugatti Veyron Grandsport Vitesse. Yeah, so one of the US Barchettas, really nice car. Rosso Corsa on Nero. I think there was 130, 131 US 550 Barchettas. I love these cars, V12 manual, open roof, so cool. And there is the Vitesse.
This thing again? How many times have we sold this? Like 5 times now?
Hi, you've reached Sheree Lamm. How are you? Leave a message and I'll call you back.
Hi Sherry, how are you? It's John Temerian from Miami. Just wanted to touch base with you. I know it's been a few months and I had some ideas about purchasing some of the photos and maybe helping you sell the rest. So call me back whenever you get the chance. Thanks. So our goal is always, as we're building our archive and always as we're just trying to share education, is finding really interesting pieces of history. We sort of stumbled through a mutual friend upon one of the greatest catalogs of iconic photos from the 80s and 90s. There's just a ton of stuff, but really our focus and our goal is 80s and 90s road and track covers, things like that, behind the scenes photos of really just some impressive pre-merger AMG and Lamborghini stuff. There's everything there. There's Ferrari, there's all the makes and brands from one of the biggest icons, I think one of the most important photographers in the automotive world in the US during in the 80s and 90s. And our goal is to try to help his family place some of those photos. We want to buy some of those photos and maybe even donate some of those photos to a museum and make sure that they are shared with the next generation of enthusiasts. Steven and Sergio went to California to go through some of the archives, and they discovered some of the most incredible photos. So we're really excited about that. I think I get more excited about some of those archival things than anything else, because it's really you're going back into time, and you're basically a part of history again. So we've got some great footage behind the scenes of their journey to California.
All right, so today is Monday. You're just before the kickoff of Monterey Car Week, but John has actually sent Sergio and myself out here for a little side quest. Any time that we can see historical photographs of any significance that can help us piece together the lineage of any of these cars is a very special day.
Here's the slide. And John had this room especially built so that it's cool all the time. Lamborghini!
Wow. That's incredible.
John was so good at what he did, and when I first started dating him, I thought he takes pictures of cars.
Oh yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But then I learned to appreciate the beauty. But he was also a hoarder.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of comes with the territory with these cars. Like, my mom says that about me too, but then I'll find something like 10 years later, it's like, oh, I remember this and this and that, but it just comes from the archival need to document it and create and preserve.
Right.
So that's just in the nature of us as car guys.
Right.
The Countach, the last one. It's Lamborghini factory photos, 1988. All right, let's start there. Oh my God. Wow. Pretty wild to be going through some of these shots and just seeing what are literally snapshots in times. And wanted to note something kind of interesting is these two photos right here show a white Countach and a white Miura SV. And there's not many white ones left. It doesn't have the blue with the gold wheels, but it doesn't, you can tell it's an SV by the larger flares and no eyelashes, which I think is a really kind of cool full circle moment to have us looking through these archives and then to be representing one of the nicest white Miura SVs on the planet this coming Sunday. It's really speaking to me. Jay Leno in his warehouse. So, next file we want to take a look at is the Lamborghini Diablo 30th anniversary model. A very special car in our neck of the woods. What's interesting is to see his selects. So if you look, you'll see his notes where he says front action. So this would probably be a car that I believe would have made it to print. Other cool things to note is this is probably when the car was in Jacksonville, where Lamborghini's headquarters was at the time.
Yeah.
And what Sergio has astutely noted was we believe this might be the SE30 prototype that we recently found in the Arctic Circle. Oh yeah, here it is, prototypo, right there.
Wow.
And then you can see the gold gas cap. Well, with an accolade like that, that's a pretty...
And here's this excellent story about the in Daytona. Wow.
This is the moments that we live for on these cars where it's so incredible just to see these cars when they were new and when they were fresh. For us as preservationists, this way we can look and see, you know, how finishes looked, you know, what's the correct color. Very cool. It's kind of interesting. I'm looking at photos of a kind of like a bluish metallic, a blue Acapulco Miura SV with white interior. And yeah, so that's what we're looking at.
That's Joe Saki's car, old car.
That's Saki's old car? Nice.
Yeah, that's the Persian, Sean Persian car.
I thought that was familiar. A USA Miura SV in the mountains, golden hour.
Cali?
Doesn't get much better than that. Now we have McLaren F1 early car, so if I'm correct, this should be one of the high mirror cars. But there's a prominent collector noted here. And then there's a very famous photo set, which I remember was Ralph Lauren's McLaren F1 LM, chassis number 3. And it should have been photographed in Aspen. Here. Oh, yeah. Action shots, and you can see where he selected the best of the action shots of the F1 LM. This is insane. So, might have found one of, I think, my best slides in here, the one that I would found.
Oh.
This is 1987 AMG Hammer. This is actually the thickest file that I've actually ever seen of all of these cars. So let's take a look. Oh yeah, so this is Road and Tracks Shootout.
Oh wow.
Holy shit. My god, it's absolutely.
This is your car?
This is my actual car.
Man.
Yeah,
those
these photos
sunset photos are just insane.
Did you see the long exposure shot too?
Yeah. Wow, dude, it got better.
It just gets better. A little awestruck, if you will, where this is actually my personal emails to John, where he was introduced by the Revs dating back to 2016. I easily recall the red hammer and have a large file of images. Let me know what I can do to help. And unfortunately, nothing really came of that. He wasn't joking when he had said
Yeah, the thick
a full
file.
style. I've sent this article that was in Road and Track to so many people because it did such a great job of explaining what the car was, and then to see the actual original shots with my background in photography and historian, this is a full circle moment, that's for sure. Here you see a 86-ish Countach downdraft with the legendary test driver Valentino Balboni wiping it down in a red car. You can see that. And then there is the iconic cover photo of Roof Yellowbird, Ferrari Testarossa, 959, AMG Hammer, Lamborghini Countach. What do you think it's worth, and how do we price this, and where do we?
I want to just document, like, you can take just photos or notes.
Okay.
And how many photos, what they are.
Okay.
I mean, you guys are recording this.
Yeah.
And you're taking some notes, right? Probably should have told you that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go through and I'll write, I'll go through and I'll actually do archival notes right now.
Yeah.
And then I'll take pictures of everything.
It's 150 photos or 500 photos, and
Okay.
this is what they are, and this is, you don't have to take a cell phone photo of every photo.
No.
Maybe just sheets, like, quickly, boom, 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 boom.
Okay.
And the supercar shootout stuff,
We'll get it done.
Yep.
Okay, cool. That's a directive.